Others are following me, although at a distance. No one seems wanting to take the initiative. They seem to be familiar with our surroundings, but not with the layout of the station. At least none of us has to pretend. I think no one wants to be the one going down the wrong way and making a mistake in front of the others. I've seen crossroads twice and stuck to the path indicated by an arrow on the wall screens. So far, so good. I keep walking. The others follow. Eventually, I hear a murmur in the distance, which grows to a distinct noise as I draw nearer. I see some bright lights in the distance and a much more colorful environment. I step out onto a plaza, a cathedral of green and gold. There are columns and glass everywhere, with manicured trees and shrubs in every corner, and overhead, an immense glass canopy. This must be the concourse. There are lots of other people here, all wearing the same jumpsuits as we are, probably fresh new clones, just like us. Even my jaded brethren around me are all murmuring amongst themselves in tones of wonder and amazement, as if talking out loud might make the wonders fade away. "This way, please." The voice cuts through the noise effortlessly, and in a moment, the conversations go quiet. A Horatio has appeared on an immense hollow screen, inviting us to move along. There are more hollow projections in the hallways leading to, what was it? Indoctrination? That sounds unpleasant. Nonetheless, I follow the crowd. We meander through the corridors for a couple of minutes before we reach our destination. This is a huge room covered in rich materials, from the deep carpeting in the middle of the room to the paneled walls. There are long rows of wide, comfortable-looking seats, all facing a wall covered with an immense hollow screen. Low columns form arcades and run along the walls of the room. It's beautiful. A Horatio in a red suit is standing with arms crossed on a low podium in front of the hollow screen. He has a look of studied annoyance on his face. Once all of us are inside the room, he speaks up. "May I have your attention, please?" The crowd falls silent. His voice carries across the room, and even from somewhere near the entrance, I can easily hear him. "Please take a seat. Go all the way through the row. Don't just hog the center seats. You'll hear me just fine from the sides as well." There's a bit of a rush forward from the new clones to do exactly the opposite of that. Soon enough, a cluster of Horatio are sitting in the prime seats and preventing the rest of the file from moving along. "Oh, for his sake. Go around the audience and find a seat from the other side and occupy the back and side seats if necessary." I position myself carefully in a spot at the back. I'd rather watch what's happening and do my best to blend in. The Horatio in the red outfit seems about to continue when another moves in from the shadowy arcades to the side of the room and climbs the steps to the podium. His feet echo softly on the green marble tiles. The red Horatio closes his mouth and deflates a bit. The other one is moving pretty slowly, and from the envious looks of my closest neighbors, I can only imagine that it's on purpose. He dismisses Red with a casual gesture of the hand and a smile. Red Horatio leaves the stand. With a grin, the second Horatio turns to us, his cape flowing in an emphatic demonstration that he's here and demands our attention. When he speaks, his inflections are slightly different. I surmise that he probably spends a lot of time speaking in public. "Thank you, second-rate Master Sergeant Extras B12. That'll be all. To each and every me, welcome to Kappa Station, finest in the cluster. Your memory imprints do not cover the last couple of decades, since the last backup was distributed among cloning facilities in this quadrant. Therefore, a lot of the information you know, and the things you know may be outdated. This is a crash course in what has happened while you were sleeping. Let's start with the most important thing, etiquette with regards to my person. You may address me as third-rank esteemed Grand Headmaster Red Shy Eternus P02. In settings that only comprises initiate level and above station personnel, you may call me simply Grand Headmaster or Master Eternus P02. In public, you will always address me as your likeness, provided that the honorifics have been properly given and received. In a small setting, you may subsequently call me Sir. He pauses for a second. Now that this is covered, let us move on to secondary topics. First, your own identity. It is with a great pleasure that I deem you all initiates. More specifically, your full name will be First Level Initiate Megrez, since this is your facility of origin, and then your chosen name, along with your decanting birth and badge number. You are badge 21 of this administration. There is a holopad on your desk. You may use it now to approve your suggested name, or pick another one. I look at the holopad resting atop the desk. The screen reads, First Level Initiate Megrez, placeholders F21. Do I really want to be called by that name? I guess placeholders F21 is my name now. First Level Initiate Megrez, placeholders F21. I look at my reflection in the glass panel of the holo screen. Yep, that looks like me. Placeholders F21 for short. Plus, by picking the default option, I'm sure I won't stick out from the crowd. The Horatio on stage must have some way of checking our progress, because after a moment, he continues, I'm sure I can find something better. I rake my mind for an idea. Could I randomly type in letters? Wait. No, I'll be stuck with that. Better find something discreet so I can blend in. I press the delete button. The words enter your name appear instead. The screen flashes green for a second after I hit the submit key. Okay, my name is First Level Initiate Megrez Mikalel F21 now. Hope it brings me luck. The Horatio on stage must have some way of checking our progress, because after a moment, he continues. As initiates, you need not address Category X personnel or unsightly species you may encounter directly. You may find the closest underling to do that for you. Be aware that there are many new species that have been added to his glorious empire. Xenuglies aside, there might be some more aliens around the station. Do not be alarmed. They should all be tamed. Generally, the rough and unwashed masses are kept away from their betters, but several client species are permanent residents aboard Kappa Station. It is entirely possible that you'll come across some of their representatives over the course of the next few weeks. Should you need to communicate with them, they are familiar with our speech and will attempt to replicate it to the best of their ability. Most of the new species we have encountered have proven to be just as disappointing as we expected. He smirks. He flicks his wrist and pulls his belt buckle free. With a wave, the buckle lights up, revealing a small holopad. Fancy. Now, for a brief overview of what has happened in the last decade. Relationships with the so-called fledgling United Empire remain very cold. Representatives from their young leader, a male human called Lovethyself, have refused vassalage under the auspicious leadership of Horatio himself. Similarly, they have repelled violently several attempts at claiming outer planets for our empire. Proceed with caution. Relationships with the robotic insectoid hive known as the Cravers are still at an all-time low. They have eaten the last dozen envoys, as well as the ships they came on. The colony of Heka was deemed lost after we had to vitrify the surface in the year 10191 after him. Their strength would make a great addition to the Empire, but at this time we are not pursuing efforts any further. Similarly, we are currently not in speaking terms with the Sophon Republic. The diminutive know-it-alls have recently jumped the gun and seized the system of Ingress and... Wait, this happened centuries ago. He flicks through several screens on his holoscreen in rapid succession. All this information is completely out of date. Who messed with the geopolitics database? I am surrounded by complete idiots, I swear. Never mind this. He turns off the holoscreen, sighs. then continues. I guess I will be doing this from memory. It might be a bit patchy. Some things that your own memories will definitely encounter too once you start living in your body for a while. Something to do with having millennia of memories of him. Moving on, you might be wondering why so many of you are being decanted at this time, and for what purpose. This station is home to Horatio Academy, where the best and brightest of his siblings come from all across the empire for further education. The best of these in turn get a shot at joining the other academy, led by a Vadyani male called Icender. Ah, the Vadyani, life-sucking ghouls who live in gigantic space arcs and prey on the defenseless souls of our brethren, except this Icender fellow who fled them and founded the academy, a place that has grown into immense power. They have knowledge and mastery of dust. Your purpose, if you end up among the chosen few, is to go there and acquire some of this knowledge and power and bring it back for the glory of his empire. Finally, the why so many of you at once. Well, 2 of our exploration vessels disappeared recently. They contained the brightest minds of this generation, our best shot at getting the knowledge we're seeking. They are gone now, and just a few very short weeks before Horatio Prime himself is due to review our Academy cadets. Horatio Prime himself is coming to Kappa Station, and we have no cadets. The shame this would bring to me and to the whole station would be unbearable. Anyway, you have got about 3 weeks to become these cadets. There will be extensive training. There will be classes. There will be etiquette courses and lessons of the latest courtly dances. There will be no failure. Or else. Now, if you have questions, keep them for your instructors tomorrow. Time for you to get sustenance and retire to your personal quarters. He turns away and walks out the same way he came, under the arcades and out of sight. This Eternus P02 guy is something else. Ah, what a jackass. If I understand him correctly, I have 3 weeks to not only pass for a normal Horatio, but to become an outstanding specimen worthy of sending on to steal secrets from a powerful alien entity. Gotcha. People have already started getting up when the other one comes back. Guess that's how people are around here. Master Sergeant something, I believe. Attention, please. You are now going to be provided with dinner. Follow me to the mess hall. Without waiting, he turns around, walks down the podium, and off into the direction opposite the one we came. My brethren and I quickly follow. Finally, we get there. Compared to the concourse and the room we were just in, this is a rather drab place, somehow halfway between a spaceport and a hospital. It doesn't look like a place to enjoy dinner as much as a place to eat, a place to feed oneself. Some of my, I guess, classmates are already in line, and a few have already sat down to eat something I can't quite identify yet. I have decided to say classmates, since I can't settle on whether we should be feeling any kinship towards one another. It does feel strange to hear brethren every other sentence, and I guess calling us cadets might be getting ahead of myself here. The headmaster's speech didn't really help normalize the situation, really. Someone bumps into me, and I realize I'm holding up the crowd. I get in line. I grab a tray and slide it on the rail. There are some odd kitchen utensils available, but I'm not sure what purpose they serve, so I compromise by taking a spoon from the lot. Upon closer inspection, I realize it's a spork. The future looks amazing. I look up at the people serving us food. They're all Horatios too, wearing some sort of jumpsuit and looking pretty upset to be here. One hands me a bowl of something I don't quite recognize, serving me a mean look at the same time. I'm surprised by the direct eye contact, and before I know it, I'm saying, "Hello, thank you." The Horatio lunch person is as surprised as I am, frowns before saying back, Hello, enjoy your food. I've never before seen anyone be so begrudging in saying thank you, but then again, I've not seen many people. Take it easy, friend. I shuffle along and look at the contents of my bowl. It's slop, definitely slop. I don't know what it's made of or what animal it came out of. Oh well, at least it seems hot. I grab some water and a piece of bread. No dessert options. Princely. I look around for a place to sit next to someone, hoping for a bit of, well, any kind of interaction. I sit down next to a bored-looking classmate, but after a few overtures and encouraging smiles, I give up. Every me is a bit on edge, and at other tables it looks like people are focusing on the contents of their tray. The slop proves to taste just as awful as it looks. Once I'm done pushing about the last bits of food left, I stand up and go put my tray back where I've seen others do so. A fair bunch of people have left already, and looking at their trays, it seems I'm not the only one for whom enjoyment of our dinner was minimal. Off to the side, there's a guard taking people off a long list and sending them down a hallway. It's that Master Sergeant dude again, I think. Some of us, it seems, have different face markings and uniforms, though I'm not sure what their meanings are. We lock eyes, and he barks up.